Louie asked me to go into, how I got into Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So January 1st, 2017, I had seen that Bitcoin was $1,000, and I heard about Bitcoin like back in 2011 because a good friend of mine, very good friend of mine, very savvy investor. He said that he was thinking about buying some, and I asked him what it was. He said it's digital money. I was like, "Oh, that's stupid," just like everybody else say. You know what I mean? I was like, "That's dumb," and I just literally ignored it. I didn't think about it at all. So then I popped up on January 1st, 2017. What's up, brother? How you doing? And
pause it real quick. Pause it real quick,
yep,
Nathan. We're gonna introduce him, and you're gonna continue that story. All right. What's going on, Nathan?
Yes, sir.
How y'all doing?
All right, man.
Little
Appreciate
connection problems.
Okay. Oh well, I'm in the Burger King, so I'm trying to get this good Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying?
No problem.
I appreciate all of you guys for tapping in, man. I put the code out there because I want people to tap in and just start to glean from this information, man. Because it's beautiful. Right now, Nate, what we're doing is Teddy is giving us a backdrop of his interest into the business of Bitcoin, and then you're gonna do the same thing. All right?
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So you were saying, Nate, Teddy, what was you saying as far as your history introduction?
So, I heard about it in 2011, but I saw on January 1st, 2017, it was like $1,000, and that really intrigued me because I really thought nothing of it back when I first heard about it. I thought it wasn't going to be anything, just like most people do. And, when I made that judgment, I made it without knowing anything about it either. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people kind of do, is kind of make assumptions about Bitcoin without really understanding what it is, what its purpose is, how it works. And so, that day I literally just went down a rabbit hole studying everything about it. And I did that literally every day for about 4 months. Because once I started listening to some videos about it, it was just so fascinating, and it was so intriguing, and I just couldn't put it down, man. It's just that's what it was, So I bought my first piece of Bitcoin. I think it was at 2,500, so I already missed like a 1.5x from when I saw it. And I didn't put that much in, but then I started learning about other cryptos, invested in Ethereum, XRP, Tezos, there's a ton of other coins that I invested in, and I just kept following the market, and every day, literally every single day, spending about an hour to 2 hours just learning about it. It's November of 2017, right after Thanksgiving, Bitcoin was like 10 grand. And and then from just after Thanksgiving in November to about towards the end of December, Bitcoin shot up to 19,600 at its peak. You know what I'm saying? And so watching it go from $1,000 to $19,600. And then studying it the entire way. I seen every single candle on that chart, every day, you know what I'm saying? But seeing it do that, just kind of busted my brain wide open. And then looking at some of the other coins and what their growth was that year, just floored me. And so, since then, I've taken it very serious. And I've looked at other avenues and vehicles for investments, but considering the return that you get on crypto and investing in new technology, that'll outlast a lot of the things that we invest in today. You know what I'm saying? That just it just cemented for me the position that I need to be in.
Right.
Okay, right on, man. Yeah, I mean, that's the key. Like, I was just like you, I heard about it in 2011. And when you heard about it, I think really what it was the foundation of my understanding of finances was from a money standpoint, dollars.
For sure. Yeah.
Like, like how does this thing equate? What's the value of a Bitcoin that you don't see and you trade it, but it's like, I didn't understand that. So I dismissed it, but unlike you, I didn't watch that. You studied it step by step and you saw the growth. that made sense when you see the growth to actually get involved. I kind of just casually heard about it, and it's always been on my radar. I even got into this carrot bars. Are you familiar with that?
I'm very
Where they
familiar.
tie
Yes,
the gold to the cryptocurrency. I still don't even understand that, but I did at least tap in and just to keep that position. You know what I'm saying? But Nathan, man, I see you too. Like I told Teddy, I won't say I stalk y'all pages, but I watch what y'all do. And I'm like, okay, what are they talking about? It's like I'm reading Chinese over here. Y'all speaking a whole nother language, man. So I had to put it out there, man. How does it make sense? And let's make it make sense. And then once you guys responded, I said, well, why don't I just try to make this available to the people that follow my page and our pages to give us a collective understanding, because there's a saying that says that you by yourself you go fast, but together you go far.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Amen.
this is 2020 taught me one thing, if nothing else, was that it is very important to have multiple income streams, not just your job, not just your business, but you got to do things and Bitcoin is like passive income. So it's a win-win in any case.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Nate, give us an understanding of what brought you to the space of Bitcoin, and what do you kind of see it right now?
All right. You can hear me loud and clear?
Yeah. Everybody can hear you. Thumb up if you can hear them. I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay. So basically, Tony, right?
Tony, right? That's Tony.
Okay. See, I haven't been in it as long as you, so mine is fresh, but I got like compounded at a whole bunch of information at once. So basically, I seen it on Queen of the South, because they used it on there in a couple movies, and Ozarks. They was talking about cryptocurrencies, but I didn't know what it was. So I'm like, okay, it's a new extra thing they can do with computers and currencies and stuff digitally. So I was like, oh, the pandemic happened, and then the guy, Dr. Boyce. I don't know if anybody's follow him or know about Dr. Boyce Watkins. And he's a black dude, financial guru. So he just talking about stocks. So I got in this program about stocks and stuff, and that's how I finally got into stocks. And this was in March. So when the pandemic happened, everybody was at home. So I just been studying and reading. And he said something about Bitcoin. So I looked it up, and at the time in March, I think it was 3,000. 3,600. 3,800.
Yeah.
Tell you, man, Ted be following this thing. Be following this thing. Well, I'm like, look, let me tap in right quick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, and it was July. I was in Mexico, and I was like, let me go in and buy some. And this was 11,000. And then I bought some, and while I was at the pool, it went up to 13,000. So I bought some more. Me being slow, not knowing no better, here come August, it dropped down, I think 12 or 10,000 or something like that, Tony, right? I was like, I gotta sell this. The market is going bad. But I still had my stocks and stuff. And then I got into this program with Epic, where they teach you about trading and Forex and everything. And that's when a guru, I call him the crypto guru, because he know all about it. So I put my money in, and then next thing you know, it's in 20,000. I'm like, oh, it ain't really going nowhere. And then December, that's when it hit in the 30,000. And then I was like, I got to get invested in this. So, and then over the week, that's when it hit the 39, 40,000. And so I put more in. I'm like, it's just gonna keep going up. And he said, he said, he was like, it's gonna hit 25,000. It's gonna hit 38,000. It's like, by February, it's gonna be over 45,000. So I'm like, he know what he's talking about.
Right.
So I got into Ethereum, XLM, and another little one is like Dogecoin, DOGE.
Dogecoin, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm on this stuff now. I'm like, all right. It's so crazy, like stocks. I took my money out of the stocks and put it into the cryptocurrency, into the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because my return investment is way better. So
straight up.
Now I've been following ever since, like Tony say, I'm on it. I ain't going back.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Say the guy's name again. You said that was the cryptocurrency guru. Can you maybe put it in the comments?
Jeffrey Rojas.
Rojas, ROJAS.
Yeah, ROJAS.
Yeah. I'm about to go follow him right now on Instagram.
His name
is he on Instagram?
Yeah, Mr. Unemployable.
Mr. On it. Hey, we twin hearts. because I feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I mean, let me tell y'all, man, 2020 was a godsend because, you know, about I want to say about 6 years ago, I decided that I was determined to find a way from a traditional 9 to 5 into a business situation, right? So around that same time, the universe opened up and allowed Lyft to come into Vegas. And, you know, I just took it as that, you know, something to make some money on the side. And what I found was when I was driving, I was making as much doing that as I was at my job without the heavy overhead of the boss and all of that. So I was setting my own hour. I was like, man, I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. So I jumped out there and I got into this space of being self-employed, but now I'm making money and I'm doing okay, but I got sick. I got sick in 2017 and I was incapacitated for like 3 weeks. I was in an 8-day coma plus the 3 weeks in the hospital. And while I was in the hospital, guess what? I wasn't making no money. You see what I'm saying? So my mind started working like, what can I do? What can I do? And thank God that I had made an imprint in the comedy community. The comedians raised money for me to get me back on my feet, but I didn't like that feeling. I don't like asking, like Jay-Z said, I never took a handout. I always take the man route. You see what I'm saying? So that put me back in perspective of further searching, but I wasn't going back to a job. I stayed driving Lyft, but I was still searching for other things. And I was on my Cash App messing around, and I found out that there was another feature. I was like, let me see what this is. And I went, and it said Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, at that time, I didn't understand how to read it. I didn't know what it meant. I still really don't. But you know, I said I'll put a couple dollars in there to see what it do. And it went down. So I freaked out. And I was like, you know what? No, I ain't doing the Bitcoin. No, let me hold on, man. So I went over to doing the stocks. And stocks was cool. Don't get me wrong. Stocks, I still think stocks is cool, but it's really all of these things, Bitcoin, stocks, whatever, all of these things revolve around a mindset. You're not into being patient. If you're not looking at a long-term investment scenario, you're going to freak out because the markets are volatile and they go up and they go down, but you have to stay even. You see what I'm saying? So I did that with the stocks, and it made more sense to me in the sense of I could see when I lost money and I could see when I gained money. You see what I'm saying? But you guys were saying something just now that I now have more questions about when you were talking about you sold your Bitcoin and then you had I knew there were different types of Bitcoin, but like how do you know this for either one of you guys, how do you know which Bitcoins to invest in and is there projections on who's gonna do good and who's not?
So there's only one Bitcoin. There's no other thing other than Bitcoin. Okay. There's altcoins, which are coins that are not Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is Bitcoin, right? And then they term this term called altcoins, which is literally any other coin but Bitcoin, right? And then they call that entire market cryptocurrency.
Okay.
The thing with Bitcoin, which is different from every other coin, is that there's no entity, there's no individual, or there's no army, government, bank that controls or owns Bitcoin. That's a major distinction. It's censorship resistant. What that means is nobody can stop a transaction from occurring. Nobody knows who sent what to who. Nobody. If you have Bitcoin in your Bitcoin wallet, nobody, no government, no IRS, nobody knows that that's yours, and nobody can definitively pin an address to you without you divulging that that's yours. You know what I'm saying? And so. Wow. That's why you have Bitcoin at 40,000 and the next biggest market cap coin is only 1,200. You know what I'm saying? And it's this major distinction that there's Bitcoin and then there's everything else, that gives Bitcoin that value. Now, all the other coins have the potential to give you more percentage gains than Bitcoin does, but none of them are as scarce in supply as Bitcoin. So you kind of play this game, right, where we're in a bull run. So you can kind of time the bull runs to every 4 years there's going to be one. So in 2017, really that bull run started in 2016, carried into 2017, and what happened in 2016 was a halving, where the supply of Bitcoin gets cut in half. In 2020, we have a supply of Bitcoin getting cut in half, and then the bull run started later this year, later 2020. I mean, and then in 2021, now we're in the middle of it, right? So you can kind of time these bull runs like that because the supply chain gets cut in half. And during these bull runs, these altcoins, these smaller cap coins like Ethereum or XRP or XLM, like Brother Nathan was saying, these things move at a rapid pace, and they go up and they go down, but they go up. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they move rapidly, and so the kind of gains that you get, for example, Ethereum did 13,000% last bull run. You know what I mean? Inside of a year, so it went from I think it was $16 to $1,400. In a year, inside of a year.
Wow.
Just like Bitcoin did 2,000%. There's another coin. It's called Verge coin. If in January of 2017, January 1st, 2017, if you put down $100 in Verge coin, okay, you bought 6 million Verge coin because it was only worth like 0.0006 cents. January 1st, 2018. That Verge coin was up to 20 cents on $100 investment. All right, on $100 investment. This is real math, honest to God, bro. Dude, I'll show you the charts. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to take my word for it. I got receipts. You know what I mean?
He ain't lying.
On $100 investment, you cleared $1 million 1 year later. Okay. 1 year later, you know what I'm saying? Wow. This is the kind of movement that you have in crypto. So Brother Louie, man, back in I think it was May of 2020. You know what I mean? I know you had an avenue that you wanted me to get into, and I was thinking about the math on it, and I was like, I told you, man, I was like, look, I'm up 200% already just this year in Bitcoin, and I know that it makes, you know what I'm saying, 20% on my money, it just doesn't seem fast enough for me. So I really couldn't play stocks, Forex, you know what I mean? Like these things, I'm used to, coins that are doing 30% a day sometimes for weeks. You know, so it just wasn't attractive to me. But that's the kind of
but just so you know, I'm still tied. As a matter of fact, I just got my license in Connecticut. I'm still doing that.
Yes,
you know
sir.
What I'm saying? Because life insurance is insurance, what it is. Just like you insure your car, just like you insure your phone, it's you can insure your life and at the same time build your own bank account. But that's another discussion for another time. But Khadijah, how you doing, sis?
Oh, I'm doing good.
All right. So you were also did you have started investing in Bitcoin or were curious about it? What are you doing right now with it?
I'm very curious because I really don't know too much, but I see a lot of people kind of talking about it. But what I did is I went and I downloaded the Robinhood app, and then I downloaded the Coinbase app, but I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. I hear people say, "Oh, you don't let them steal your money," and I'm just like, I think my money has already been stolen because I don't know, like what's what. But I can say a good thing though is that I put about let's say you put $2,500 on Bitcoin. Do you keep that $2,500 there once you make your profit, or do you leave it all there?
So the way Bitcoin works is it's so the government has ruled it as property, right? It's like a commodity. So just like when you buy a house, the value of that house fluctuates, but your square footage doesn't increase. You know what I'm saying? It's still the same house that you bought. You know, and the same goes with Bitcoin. So, you know, if you, let's say you bought $2,500 worth of Bitcoin, let's just say, for example, Bitcoin, a whole Bitcoin was $2,500, right?
Right.
And you bought one for 2,500. When
Right.
the value goes to 10,000 or 20,000, the value of that Bitcoin is 20,000, but you still have one Bitcoin.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
And that's how it works. So if you wanted to get your money back out, you know, you would just sell a quarter of it. If it's at 10,000, you sell a quarter of that Bitcoin, and now you have your 2,500. And you know, you could let it ride if you want, but you know, if you want to put that in your pocket, you could do that too. And now, you know, you have $7,500 in 3/4 of a Bitcoin now that's sitting either in an exchange or on your wallet.
So okay, now how are those graphs pretty accurate when they show 1 day, 1 month, 1 year?
In terms of,
and like, let's investing. Because you guys are talking about Bitcoin, but I think mine's a little bit different, huh? With the investing, Coinbase it's a little bit different, right?
It's the same thing. So Bitcoin. So if you see a B, an orange B with like the little dollar sign hash through it,
yes,
that's Bitcoin, right? So anywhere, look, anything where there's a ton of money, you know, the Bitcoin market cap is near $1 trillion or over $1 trillion. Anytime you have an industry where there's a ton of money and a little bit of understanding, you know, where a lot of people don't really get it, but they're getting involved, you're gonna have a lot of scams, right? And so, you know, I'm focused on a few exchanges, right? You got Coinbase, Gemini, and Binance. If you want to get involved in Bitcoin, you can buy through Cash App, you can buy through Robinhood. You know what I'm saying? But if you want access to like a number of coins, you know, the entire crypto market, you really want to just focus on those 3 exchanges. Now, what you do is you verify your identity because since those 3 exchanges are compliant with world financial what do you call it, institutional laws, the regulations in the U.S. and whatnot. You have to register and they have to verify who you are to make sure that you're not on like a terrorist database or something like that, right? So you go through that process, and then they got to verify your bank account. But once you do that, then you could transfer money into and out of, you know, Coinbase, Gemini, Binance, or you know, Robinhood.
Okay. Yeah.
And me personally, I use Voyager because they give you interest. You get interest if you hold a certain amount of Bitcoin. It's like up to 8% they'll put into your account of Bitcoin.
Can you guys do me a favor in the comment section, the chat section, type those in so I can like look at them and see, because and y'all can tap in with my understanding. Yesterday I took $18 and put it on Bitcoin and Cash App. I don't know where I'm going with it. We'll see what it does. You know, because again, my understanding of it is almost like the stock market, where you put the money there and then you know the market fluctuates. It goes up, it goes down. You just got to check into it each day.
Right.
Is okay? Well, I'm on the right page then. So yeah, I just took $18 and just did that to see what it does. I think I went up a couple dollars with the last 24 hours, but I'm going to invest more as I get a better understanding. And that's mainly why I got tapped in on Facebook to kind of talk to the experts. You know,
and with Cash App, if you try to take out it, they charge you a fee.
Okay.
So you know what? Coinbase too, yeah.
If you're gonna have it in there, you got to leave it in there or transfer it to somewhere.
See, they find a way in there anyway, because like Teddy said, this cryptocurrency is not managed by the government.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's no real way. So they found a way, right?
Well, so like if you wanted to get around from using any of these exchanges, you know, there's a number of ways you could do it. Like there's a bunch of crypto ATMs all around everywhere, every city. You got you know, localbitcoins.com where you can meet up with somebody who's willing to sell their Bitcoin. I earn cryptocurrency in my business. I do film and photography. I sold a few packages last year for a number of Bitcoin. and you can do it like that. You can get it a number of ways, but the fastest, the most definitive way is to go through an exchange. And obviously, like, they're providing this service, so they got to take their fee. And so you would use these exchanges for particular use cases. If you want to go on Coinbase or Gemini or Binance, you do so because you want access not just to Bitcoin, but to a number of other coins. And you also want to be able to sell, for the most part, not the average person is going to use it for this, but you want to have large volume to sell. Right. So, if you're talking about 2 or 3, 400 grand, 500 grand, even 50 or 80 grand, you want to be able to dump that when you want to dump that. And Coinbase, Gemini, Gemini, Binance, there's enough volume on these exchanges to be able to handle that. I bought, a good amount on Cash App as my last major injection, and I bought it at, 25,000. I had a couple checks come in and I just dumped it in there. And, what's cool about that is when I want access to it, I just sell my Bitcoin and I immediately have access to it. You know what I'm saying? I can dump it into my account. On the other exchanges.
Who do you sell it to?
So
who do you sell it to when you talk about you selling it?
So on an exchange, what's happening is thousands or millions of people, in tens of millions at some points, are on there buying and selling. Right, so somebody, Johnny may jump onto Gemini, and he's looking to buy half of Bitcoin. I might be looking to sell a whole Bitcoin, and he'll buy half of mine, and then Bobby, who wants 0.25, he's buying 0.25 of it, and Jimmy is buying another 0.25, and now my whole Bitcoin's gone, and they all got it. I don't know who's buying it. The software is just facilitating the transaction.
Right.
On Cash App, though, when you're selling it, and this goes, Robinhood is different from Cash App. I'm going to get to the difference in a second, but on Cash App, when you sell it,
right,
Cash App is giving you the money for your Bitcoin, right? Mm-hmm. So if you bought in at 5,000, now you're selling it when it's at 10,000. Mm-hmm. Cash App is giving you the cash, and they're taking the Bitcoin, and it's advantageous for them because not only do they make the transaction fee, but these corporations, these major corporations like Cash App, PayPal, Square, they're not they're not selling anytime soon. Like, they're in the process of accumulating. You know what I'm saying? They're buying 900 or so Bitcoin every single day. So, for them, it's nothing to give you money for your Bitcoin because it's either they make a transaction fee or, they keep the Bitcoin. Either one's good for them. Now, the difference between Cash App and Robinhood is a derivative trading platform. Okay. So what that means is Robinhood is not giving you custody over your Bitcoin. It's not like I've spent Bitcoin to buy things, right? And you could do that with the Cash App in its latest update, which it wasn't like that for a good year or so. But with Robinhood, you can't. If you want to spend your Bitcoin, you don't spend it. You sell your Bitcoin for the cash, and then you have that cash transferred into your account, and then you spend the money. With Cash App, I can send that Bitcoin that I bought on Cash App out of Cash App, and now I can control it. You know what I'm saying? And here's the importance of being able to do that. So, getting into Bitcoin today is great because there's a whole lot of infrastructure in the industry. You have these exchanges that have insurance policies on the Bitcoin. So if they get hacked or whatever, you're covered on your Bitcoin. And just for the record, the Bitcoin network itself has never gotten hacked. It's always been exchanges and people, messing up their passwords and whatnot. Now, the thing is that at any given moment, Uncle Sam can knock on Robinhood's door or Cash App's door or whatever and begin to seize assets. You know what I'm saying? And along with those assets...
Didn't they do that a few years back?
They did.
Didn't they do that for a while?
In 2015, there was this website called Mt. Gox. And Mt. Gox was basically the first online Bitcoin exchange. So it made it really easy for people to go to one place to buy and sell their Bitcoin. And in addition to Mt. Gox, there was another website called Silk Road. Now, so you have Bitcoin, which isn't tracked by any government, that people are able to do transactions on, very large transactions on. They bridged that with a site called Silk Road, and on Silk Road, you know, anything was getting sold. This was like the back alley corner, you know what I mean? On the internet, it was, you know, fully automatic weapons, drugs, you know, literally everything was getting sold on the internet.
Wildcat, right.
Transactions in Bitcoin, and so the government really didn't have no idea of like who was doing what on there. You know, literally somebody was sending some cat in Kentucky AK-47s through the mail. You know what I mean? And you know, and selling it through Bitcoin. Now, because of that entire piece, the government, you know, came knocking, and they actually seized 600,000 Bitcoin, which they have till this day. Right. And there's two things that we learned from that. One is that the government, still, the IRS, you know, I think it's the FBI actually, they can't access that 600,000 Bitcoin. They have a reward for whoever is able to hack the code that will let them get into it, because that's how secure the Bitcoin network is. The second thing is that we learned not to keep our coin on exchanges, because, you know, these exchanges could go down at any time. And if they go down, they bring your Bitcoin with them. You know, so you got guys that I was just talking to a guy the other day, and he said, man, if I had the Bitcoin that I had on Mt. Gox when Bitcoin was only $5 and $10, you know, I'd be a multi-millionaire right now. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and that's the thing, right? So I say Binance, Gemini, Coinbase. The reason why I say those three is because I know that they are very regulatory compliant and they have insurance. So the likelihood of them going down for you know, nefarious reasons is slim. All other exchanges, and I'm talking about all of them, all the other ones, I just don't know what's going to happen with them. At any given moment, you know, you could lose your stuff. And I'm talking about all the other ones. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I only push those three because now, you know, if you've been in a space like me for a while, you kind of know how to pick and choose which one you want to delve into if you want to go outside of those three, and you have your reasons for why. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, for the average person just getting into this, I don't want to expose you to risk that's just not necessary. So I only push those three.
And also they got ledgers, so you can buy a ledger to put your Bitcoin on it, and it has your own personal identification number, and nobody can steal your coins that way too.
Word. It's a hardware
it's like
wallet.
little USB type thing.
Yep. So you pull your private keys off the exchange, off the main ledger, and now it's not sitting anywhere that anybody can really access. And when you want to access it, you plug it into a computer, and you transfer your funds out. It's like a savings account. It's like a lockbox, you know, safety deposit box, but it's in your control.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And you can take it anywhere in the world with you and use it.
Straight up.
Man, that's a game changer, bro.
All of that.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, like, it's kind of blowing my mind because we've been conditioned to the dollar bill, you know, our whole life.
Yeah. And you see the dollar, where the dollar is, it's at 89, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
So when the dollar go down, crypto goes up. So
that's right.
Is that right?
That's right.
See that man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
There's an investor. Oh, go ahead, brother Louie.
No, finish your point. Keep going. You're the expert, man.
I was just not. But look, if anytime you got a question, you know, please just, you know, stop me and ask it.
Absolutely.
But there's an investor by the name of Michael Saylor. He owns a investment hedge fund called MicroStrategy, and you know, they deal in the billions of dollars. And in, I believe it was September, he had $500 million in cash that they needed to put somewhere. And this is from him. You type in Michael Saylor, Saylor, or MicroStrategy, and look up the podcast. He's all over the internet doing 2-hour, 3-hour podcasts, just giving hella game about being in, you know, that $1 billion hedge fund space. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, you know, I was watching one of his podcasts, and he said he had a $500 million surplus of cash, and he was looking at the way that the printing has been going on for all the stimuluses, and he was considering inflation and what that was going to do, and they were doing the math on it, and he figured out that inflation is at the minimum going to be 15%, right, at the minimum. So in 2 or 3 years, he's chopping down the value of that cash in a crazy way. More than he'd like to, and his investors would not be happy. He looked at going into real estate, and real estate being in the bubble that it's in, we're probably not going to see prices like this for another 10 years. The stock market has to crash at some point. It's being inflated artificially from the Fed pumping and buying back stock and whatnot. Commodities is not doing that great right now because nobody is able to really shop like they used to be able to. You know what I'm saying? So he was thinking about a place to put it, and they've been looking at Bitcoin for a while. And when you look at the Bitcoin chart, we're in the beginning of a brand new cycle. You know what I'm saying? And so he likened that $500 million in cash. He likened it to a melting ice block. The longer that he keeps it in cash, and he said he didn't have to convince too many of his investors. It was already in Bitcoin, and they're already loving what in this year.
Right. Yeah.
So he didn't have to do much too convincing. Parked it in Bitcoin, and inside of 2 months, he's already made $1 billion on top of his 500 mil. You know what I mean? Inside of 2 months. You know what I'm saying? And he did nothing but let it sit.
This is the whole other ball game.
Yeah.
So is that S-Saylor, S-A-Y-L-O-R or S-A-I-L-O-R?
S-A-Y-L-O-R. His
I'm about to look him up.
MicroStrategy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking him up. I'm going to look up the VoyagerCrypto.com and Gemini. I'm definitely going to tap in, man, because...
and I know y'all heard of the Warren Buffett, what he talked about Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Educate me, man. What did he say? What did he say?
You want to break it down, Tony?
So Warren Buffett, he said it back in 2017, early 2017. He said Bitcoin is rat poison, right? Later in 2017, they told him, hey, Bitcoin, and at the beginning it was at $1,000, and then later on it was at 10 grand, and they said, hey, so you said Bitcoin is rat poison, now it's at 10,000, and he said, well, that makes Bitcoin rat poison squared, right? And his company is called Berkshire Hathaway, and he said, the entire time he's been talking about Bitcoin, he's always talked about it negatively. But just last week, Bitcoin's market cap alone surpassed the market cap of Berkshire Hathaway, the net value of the company. You know what I'm saying? The net value of that company is 840 or 49 billion, and Bitcoin went to 852 billion that week. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about an asset that nobody controls. There's no property associated with it. There's no top-notch CEO that's running the company or anything like that. There's nothing like that. It's purely the most free market valued asset that we've ever seen in the history of mankind. You know what I'm saying?
And cryptocurrency hit 1 trillion.
And then crypto hit a trill the other day. The difference between Bitcoin and a lot of anything you want to talk about is that Bitcoin started at fractions of a penny. If you bought 1 penny's worth of Bitcoin in 2010, 1 penny's worth of Bitcoin in 2010, today, that penny would have been worth $275,000. You know what I'm saying? 1 penny's worth.
Right.
Wow.
That's the thing, man. We're talking about 28 million% increase since 2010. I don't think it's done going up.
No, I don't think so either. Because they were saying, I think that was 2 weeks ago, it was at 32,000, and then a few days later it was at 38,000. Now it's at 39 and climbing. So it's probably over 40 right now. You know what I'm saying?
That was overnight this week. That was at overnight.
Right.
38, and overnight it went to 40.
Right. So hey, man, I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me and giving the game. I recorded this because our Facebook Live, it didn't actually load like I wanted it to. So I'm gonna go back and do my homework on how to put this on Facebook, and then let people tap in, man. So y'all watch my page for it, and we gotta revisit this conversation, man. Just have it ongoing because
and Tony, you on Instagram? What's your Instagram? Mine is
absolutely. Everybody put the Instagram handle out there.
Yeah, I'll type it in the chat.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I think I follow y'all. I'm probably stalking y'all. I already follow y'all. So, ESO Vegas. And I can't remember yours off the top, Teddy, but I'll get it right now.
Yep, it's all good. It's all good.
All right. What's yours?
I'm Caravan Film Cruise.
Okay.
And
you guys heard of a guy named Chris Cole?
No, sir. I haven't heard of him.
Okay. Yeah, he's one. He pretty much he got me locked in and looking at Bitcoin. He was talking about it on his page. He mainly does trading. And he does the trading space. He also mentioned Bitcoin. So just based on the information I've been looking at from him in terms of trading, I kind of respected his viewpoint. That's what got me on this, man.
There's a brother in your neck of the woods that I've been following. Me and my brother been following, and we look at him for trading advice. His name is BK, Brandon Kelly, the crypto trader. He lives in Vegas. And we subscribe to his Telegram, his paid Telegram, and he puts out calls, for buys and sells and whatnot. And he's got a method called the boss method that we've been using and we love.
Brandon Taylor, you said?
No, Brandon Kelly.
Brandon Kelly, okay. I got to mix up Michael Saylor, Brandon. Okay.
Yeah,
Brandon Kelly.
Just type in on YouTube the boss of Bitcoin, and all his videos will pop up.
Okay. Man, I appreciate this, man. Yo.
Right.
I want y'all to enjoy y'all weekend and continue to be prosperous. Thank you, Nathan.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Brother Teddy. Thank you, Khadijah.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
And what's you, Khadijah? I didn't get your handle, Khadijah. You on Facebook too?
I am. Yeah. I saw when he posted yesterday. I might have sent you guys a friend request.
Oh, okay. I'll check.
Yep.
Okay.
For sure.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, God bless. Have a good one, man. Take care.
You too. Y'all too.
All right. You too.
All right.